You know how when something serious begins to stir in Abuja or overseas, you sit up straight and listen? Because often what starts as a whisper becomes a headline that changes the narrative. Well, today we are at that moment. You've seen the headline, US-UK step in, international pressure mounts for Nnamdi Kanu's immediate release. And I'm here to walk you through what's going on, what it means, and why you should care. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out when we update you. Let's start from the top. The group behind this push is Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. On November 12, 2025, IPOB sent a letter titled SOS, Urgent Global Humanitarian Intervention to End the Unlawful Detention and Torture of Nnamdi Kanu to 21 foreign diplomatic missions and international bodies. This letter was addressed to embassies and high commissions in Abuja, including those of the United States, United Kingdom, but also others across Europe, Asia, and Africa, as well as global institutions like the International Criminal Court, ICC, and the African Union, AU. In that letter, IPOB accused Nigerian authorities of violating not only domestic court rulings, but also international human rights resolutions that ordered Kanu's release. They claim his rearrest and continued detention after an extradition from Kenya violates international law. The group insisted that what we're witnessing is not just a domestic matter, it is a humanitarian emergency touching on global justice. They painted a grim picture. According to them, Kanu's health has deteriorated gravely while in custody, conditions of detention harsh, access to adequate medical care allegedly denied, and his rights to fair treatment ignored. That explains the US-UK step-in part of the headline. IPOB is urging foreign powers, especially those with influence over human rights and diplomatic clout, to intervene on behalf of Kanu. They want these powers to demand his unconditional release, pressure the Nigerian government to obey court and international rulings, and even investigate alleged abuses, including what they describe as extrajudicial abduction from Kenya and torture. Why now? Well, the timing appears strategic. Over the past weeks, voices have been mounting. The Igbo political network, IPN, recently joined the calls for Kanu's release, citing his deteriorating health and arguing that keeping him incarcerated under these circumstances amounts to gross injustice. Likewise, elders and public figures in the Southeast have ramped up pressure on the Southeast Governors Forum, SEGF, to use their political leverage to intervene. And now, international spotlight. By reaching out to the US, UK, EU, AU, ICC, IPOB is trying to make this more than a local controversy. They want diplomatic pressure, global awareness, perhaps even sanctions or international legal steps to force the Nigerian state to comply. But what does that actually mean for Nigeria, and for you watching this? First, if global powers respond, it could force the Nigerian government to either release Kanu or come under heavy diplomatic and reputational pressure. There could be calls for investigations, for human rights monitoring, things that Nigeria may want to avoid. Second, this may stir fresh unrest or renewed protests, especially in the Southeast, among those who view Kanu as a symbol of self-determination and resistance. If handled poorly, that could ignite more tension. Third, there is a moral conversation here about rule of law, human rights, due process. Nigeria's image internationally and respect for its justice system could be affected depending on how events unfold. Of course, the government will no doubt push back. Authorities have maintained that Kanu faces serious terrorism and security-related charges, and that the law must take its course. And supporters of that position will argue that national security outweighs international pressure or diplomatic appeals. But as a journalist reporting to you now, this story, the international interest in Kanu's detention, signals that what seemed a purely internal matter is fast becoming a test of Nigeria's commitment to justice, human rights, and diplomacy. So, dear viewers, here's the gist. IPOB has triggered a global move by appealing to major world powers to intervene for Kanu's release. The pressure is building, local and international. What happens next could reshape not just Kanu's fate, but Nigeria's global standing and the broader conversation about human rights and political dissent in our country. So, as international pressure they rise, one major question Nigerians they ask now, be why Nnamdi Kanu's case still never reached final resolution after all these years. And the truth be say, this situation don't turn to something bigger than just one court case. It has become a political, regional, diplomatic and emotional issue all at once. Let's break it down clearly, so everybody watching can understand what's happening behind the scenes. Right now, foreign governments know they talk openly, but diplomatic movements they happen quietly, especially from the US and UK side. When a case like this begins to attract constant letters, petitions and monitoring from international organizations, it means them don't they shine spotlight steady. Usually governments no go announce intervention publicly until pressure reach a certain level, but insiders know that the more noise that surrounds a human rights issue, the more likely foreign missions will raise it in closed-door meetings with Nigerian officials. And trust me, those closed-door conversations they always serious. When IPOB write 21 embassies and global bodies, NAS strategy, because when many nations they look at one issue at the same time, no country won't appear like they are ignoring a potential human rights violation. Even organizations like ICC, IPOB mention, once their name enter matter, the conversation automatically get heavier. Whether anything go reach legal action or not, the international attention alone they cause tension. Now let's come back home. You remember say recently different groups inside Nigeria don't they call for Kanu's release, including political leaders, elders, human rights activists, religious bodies and even youth groups. Normally when such pressure they build from inside the country and also from outside, the government they try find a balanced way to handle the situation to avoid escalation. Because let's be honest, Kanu's detention always gets reactions. Anytime court date near or any news related to him come out, you go notice tension for the southeast immediately rise. Businesses they slow down, movement they shake, people they anticipate what will happen next. His matter carries emotional weight for millions. Now add international pressure to the mix, na big matter. Meanwhile, reports about his health condition don't make the calls for release louder. Even groups wey no support IPOB ideology still they ask government to follow the rule of law, obey court orders, and at least allow proper medical access. So the issue no be only politics anymore, it don't enter humanitarian level. And you know how Nigerians they, once matter reach humanitarian talk, passion they rise. People they argue on social media every day. Some they say, release him so peace can return. Some they say, no, let the case run. Others they say the whole situation they affect the southeast economy. And you know our economy no even need extra stress right now. Let me also touch one important angle so you understand the full picture. International pressure no they always mean automatic release, but they open door for negotiation. Sometimes what happens behind closed doors fit be something like, make we find a diplomatic settlement. Make we consider political solution. Make we ease tension before it affects investment and national image. These kinds of discussions they happen quietly, and when international actors get involved, the urgency increases. Even foreign investors they watch how Nigeria handles its internal political and human rights issues, because stability affects business. So this matter no be just about Kanu, it is indirectly about Nigeria's international reputation, security stability, regional peace and economic relations. At the same time, the government they also face pressure from the other side. People who fear that releasing him could lead to more agitation or send the wrong signal. So you see this matter they very delicate. But make I tell you the truth, the moment the US and UK begin to get formally involved, even if not through diplomatic queries, reports or official interest, the game changes completely. Because those countries get strong leverage in global politics, human rights monitoring and partnerships with Nigeria. And trust me, Nigeria know they like negative international spotlight, especially when it comes to democracy and human rights. That is why this headline they shake ground. International pressure mounts for Nnamdi Kanu's immediate release. The immediate part is what is giving the story serious momentum. It means the world is watching closely. It means organizations don't they expect action. and it means the conversation no go die down anytime soon. But there is something deeper. This situation is beginning to mirror global cases where political detainees become international concerns. Once international bodies start asking questions, the matter rarely remains small. As we talk now, more letters, statements, and diplomatic communications fly around. You go see all of them on social media, but trust me, embassies take notes, human rights groups update the reports, analysts watch the Nigerian government's next move, and Nigerians, especially those in the southeast, watch with very sharp eyes. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe and turn on your notification, because this matter still develop and bring you every detail in real time.